Welcome, Melissa. Great to have you here today. Melissa's a recent graduate from the Blissful Breadwinner program. Welcome, Melissa.
Thanks, Joe. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you too. Why don't we kick off with just a little bit about who you are, where you're from? Obviously, you have a funny accent. I speak normally. It'd be great to find out where you're from and your personal situation.
Sure. So I'm from suburban Philadelphia. I work full time as a consultant in the pharmaceutical industry. I help companies launch new drug products. And I have two grown boys. They're 23 and 27. And I'm married to my high school sweetheart, Scott, and we've been married for 30 years.
Wow, amazing. And let's talk about, we always want to know, we're here to talk about what you got. Obviously, you've come through the program. The question in everybody's minds is let's put them out of their misery. Tell me, what results have you got from the program from a career perspective or a personal perspective? I'd love you to share what's been the outcome for you.
It's amazing. I think you'll agree that I'm a different person now than I was 8 weeks ago. And if you had described to me the things I would have learned or how I would be different and the things that I'd be doing differently, I would not have believed you. So I would say it's been transformational, tremendously helpful.
And let's talk about what are some of those outcomes been. So what were some of the things, that you now see as doing differently than perhaps you never thought possible before?
So I definitely have more confidence, and I don't know along the way what kind of happened to the confidence I may have had a long time ago, but some self-doubt. And there were some things happening at work. I wasn't really happy. I was feeling stuck, and I thought I need to do something. Something needs to change, but I can feel myself just much more positive, much more relaxed than I was. Tend not to be so stressed about what I'll say minor things. Don't slow me down. Definitely things are progressing on the work front and the home front. Definitely have balanced the mental load and things that I've been carrying around for years that I didn't really realize the weight of that on my shoulders. And so I feel truthfully lighter, like as if a burden has been lifted from my shoulders.
And then tell me, there's been some big shifts as well, haven't there, in terms of as we've released some of this baggage that we all tend to carry as women. What have you seen from a physical perspective? What are some things that maybe habits you're now doing that you weren't doing before?
So something I've always wanted to try is meditation, but I never really had the motivation to try it or stick with it. Or I thought, oh, that's silly. Why would I want to do that? It's not going to help. So I have added that habit and it has been really helpful. And what happened, I tried to do it at night and I was falling asleep. So I said, maybe that's not the best time. But I found for me, another thing I wanted to do was I never take a lunch break. And of course, that adds to stress. And then you're just working, working, working. You don't take a break. And I'm not at my best in the afternoon. So I schedule time on my calendar to take a lunch break and meditate. So I've added that practice and I'm learning how as I'm learning to do other things, but that's been enormously helpful to me. And then other things I've been doing is related to that habit stacking is exercise. So if you had asked me a couple of weeks ago if I would be exercising 6 days a week, I would wonder what planet you were on because there was no way that I was getting up. But I started with my husband, Scott. We decided that we would walk, both of us, at least 2 days a week, 3, then it was 4, then it was 5, then the weather got cold, and now it's I do things inside. So all super helpful.
Wow. And this is something that, just to be clear, I haven't given you an exercise program. I haven't told you what to eat. This has just been stuff that you've worked out what you wanted to do, and you now feel empowered to go and do it.
Exactly. So one of the things that I decided to focus on was my health and my mindset. And both of those things were important to me. And to put the attention on those and to make the time to do it, and also to focus on not so much losing weight, but my health. So for me, that made it more something that I could do and something that wasn't easy to say no to, because who's going to say no to, well, no, I don't want to be healthy. So that was the way I tricked myself into thinking that rather than looking at the scale. So.
But the numbers on the scale have moved for you as well, haven't they? Just as you're not even focusing on that, but they have also moved as a positive benefit of all this, right?
They definitely have. So when I started, I think when I first decided to join this program, one of the things was I had been on a weight loss program for probably 6 or 8 weeks, and I had been exercising like crazy. I had changed my diet and I didn't lose a pound. And I thought to myself, this is ridiculous. And I was ready to give up. And I said, how can this possibly be? And then I started thinking, and what I realized, I wasn't really happy at work. Didn't like what I was doing. I felt that I was taking on more and more work and not getting recognized for it. I was really stressed. And I thought, that's why I can't lose weight. And so I went down the path of, well, I need to find a new job. But then I thought, well, wait a minute, if I just leave this job and go to another one, I'm going to be in the same situation where I'm taking on more and more work, and then I'm getting resentful of the people around me, and I'm not getting the results that I want, and I don't say no, and I keep taking on things that I don't really want to do, and how do I stop? So that was at the time that I thought I need to do something differently. So yes, I did not join the program to lose weight. However, that's been a fantastic benefit for me.
Awesome. I love it when the positive, I guess, almost the side effects of starting to work on ourselves and doing this inner work ends up permeating across every area of our life, whether that's our health, our relationships, and everything else that that is important to us.
And it has, because I just in terms of my how I prioritize, and Scott and I have been spending more time together. And I after I did the time audit, I realized that I was losing time throughout the day for activities that don't add any value whatsoever in terms of social media and some of those things. And to, take that to recognize that time is lost, and take it and do it on, add it to things that I'd rather be doing.
Most definitely. And then what made you, obviously you've been, your boys are grown up now, you've been dealing with these challenges for a while. You mentioned being the workhorse and never being able to say no to some of these challenges. What made you decide that it was time to do something about it rather than just keep working harder, which is what we typically do?
So it has been going on, I'll say, for at least a couple of years, and I feel like I tried everything, and I felt like I was pushing a rock up a hill. It was I just keep pushing, pushing, pushing. I keep doing the same thing, and the result is not changing. I'm just not where I want to be. So it was essentially the last straw when I got to the point where I just said, I can't do this anymore. I can't read another book. I can't listen to another podcast. I can't, it's just not working. So, definition of insanity, keep doing the same thing you've always done. You're going to get the same result. And it was just when I thought about looking for another job, I thought I absolutely could not fall into the same trap that I've fallen into before.
So tell me then, what was different about my program? What changed for you? Because you said you've tried the books, you've tried everything else. What was the magic ingredient that you felt made this actually get you some results for a change?
So I got results immediately, which is I would not have believed. The first conversation that you and I had, I uncovered some limiting beliefs that were holding me back, and that was the start. And quickly after that, goes way back to when I was a child in terms of, feeling like I'm not good enough. So everything that I was doing and my behaviors, and as soon as I recognized that, I thought, oh, that really makes a lot of sense when you start looking at things with a different perspective. But the other thing is, you personally have lived through this. This is not some, I'll say, talking head, someone saying, well, you should do this and you should do that. You actually have approaches and hacks and tricks and strategies and things that people can do. And it's not just one, it's many. So you pick what works for you. And then when it works, then you say to yourself, oh, wow, I can do it. That's fantastic. I didn't spend an hour doing something that should have taken me 20 minutes. I set a Pomodoro timer and I focused on the most important things at work, and the things I needed to get done today got done today. So now I'm not procrastinating and they're showing up tomorrow and still not done. Those kinds of things.
Amazing, amazing. And tell me, what advice would you give to anybody listening who thinks, Melissa's found somebody maybe on the internet from another country? Is this relevant across time zones and across cultures? And I've got smaller kids, you've got older kids. What would you say to someone listening about whether this is right for them?
I think 100% that regardless of where you live or what culture you're from or what country, that it resonates for me in the tribe. And when we have our group coaching calls, the things people are talking about are things I understand that I've been through, others are feeling and living through the same thing. So I'm not unique. I'm not alone, but honestly, I haven't heard anything on a call where I think, what is that person talking about? I think, oh yeah, I've definitely been there. I've definitely felt like that. I've been in a similar situation. And so for me, there wasn't a difference. Other than the time between how people feel. And it was nice for me to recognize that just hear from people that was exciting from other countries, to be able to connect. That in itself for me was a learning experience.
Hmm. And as you said, it is amazing how unique we all are, whether we're from Australia or New Zealand or Canada or England or Hong Kong or the US. It's universal challenges that we all face.
Yep.
So tell me, in a couple of sentences, what does the future hold for Melissa?
So the interesting thing is, I don't know what the future holds, but I know it's going to be fantastic. So coming from someone who plans everything and needs to know the next step and the step after that, it doesn't bother me that I don't know, but I feel prepared and ready to take on whatever is put in front of me, and not to be afraid, and to be, willing to look at these opportunities, because I was in a mind frame where I didn't see opportunities. And as soon as I started this program, it was everywhere I looked that there were things like, oh, this recruiter's calling me. Oh, this person wants to have an interview. And those things were there, but I wasn't focusing on them. I wasn't noticing them. Similar to when you say, oh, we're going to buy a new car, and you look around and you say, oh, there's a car just like the one I'm going to buy. Those cars have been there all the time. So, just to be able to focus my attention on that. So for me, I don't know what the future holds, but I'm excited. I'm definitely looking forward to it.
Oh, awesome. And finally, any takeaways for anyone listening who is sitting there thinking, oh, I wonder if this is right for me? What would you say to them?
So I would say that I was the person sitting on the other side of the camera watching this. That you are watching this video for a reason. Something brought you here. There was something that made you think, maybe I should stop and take a couple minutes to listen. This is one of the best decisions I've ever made, and I think that you want to jump right in. You just do it. Don't wait for the perfect time. There is no perfect time. You're not going to have more time. Things aren't going to be better at home. Things aren't going to be better at work. Whatever that is, it's just do it, because the results are quick. I mean, you will definitely, within the first week, you will start to see changes, and people around you will start to see changes. So you don't want to sit here next week, next month, next year and say, what if I had done that, or I should have, or I would say, do it. You definitely have nothing to lose.
Awesome. Amazing. Well, the future is bright, Melissa. This is just the beginning of the new unstoppable Melissa, with confidence, who has boundaries, who's, getting in shape and living the most amazing life that she wants. So I'm so proud of how far you've come, and it's been an absolute pleasure watching your journey.
Thanks, Jo.
Awesome. Thank you.